Hello everybody. In this video I will show you how to create a simple calculator using the App Designer. App Designer is the more advanced tool provided by MATLAB, which is a successor to what it was previously called as Guide. In this video I will just use command line to create a calculator. I won't use the graphical interface tool of App Designer to create this calculator. Please watch my other videos to see how to create this, how to use um, the graphical tool provided by MATLAB for App Designer. So let's start. First, let's create a new function, MATLAB function for this purpose. We don't need any output arguments, so I'll just delete it. I think I will name my function as my calculator. And also I don't think I need any input argument, so I just remove that as well. I do a control S so that to save it over there. Perfect. So I got my file here. Now let's start. So first we will have to create a blank figure where we will start putting our widgets. So the first command would be figure handle equal to UI figure. We can also use tab key to complete automatically, and then we use the name, the PV pair. The parameter is name and the respective value. So the value I want to keep as a my calculator. I want to name it as my calculator. Okay, perfect. Now before proceeding, let's do a run and see if our syntax was fine. So we got this blank layout. So, now I go ahead and put one by one the widgets into it. So first let's put a text view into it. So that's called first let's take a variable text view equal to UI text. Again I use the tab key. Okay, text view is more in Java, so I use the text area here, and then I use the bracket where I'll give the figure handle, which is what I defined there, and I think that's all. That should work fine. So let's again run and check whether, yeah, see, this is coming perfectly fine. Now let's try to set various properties of this text view. So how can we do that? One way is we can quickly get properties of a text area by using the command as text UI text area. I'm not sure if it will work or not. I don't think it will work, but it will work fine. So here we get the list of all the properties which we can set. So I think more or less I'm more interested in setting up its position, which is the default right now, and also the values probably. So let's see how we can do that. So once I've set this text area, I will go and set it here, text area dot position, and instead of the default value, which is this one, over here this first is the distance from the left side, the distance from bottom, this is the width of the text area, and this is the height. So distance from left side I think is a bit too much. I will like to bring it a bit closer, so I reduce it from 100 to say 20. And over here height I want a bit more from the bottom, I want somewhere here, and so I make it like 350. Yeah, this is the width also I need to increase it, so I think I will go from starting from 20 the distance till somewhere here, so it should be somewhere around, it's just a guesswork, I'm doing just a guesswork, 510. and height is also a bit more. I don't think I need 60, so I will go for 20. Let's see how it works. I go for the done. Wow, perfect. Now I go for a initial value text area dot value, and that I will put as 0, and that's all I think for the time being. Okay, so this is aligned to the left side and I want it to be aligned on the right hand side. So let me see if there is any property called alignment, and I'm pretty sure there should be something. So I think I can use this property as horizontal alignment, which is left by default. I want it to be right hand side. So I do again text area dot horizontal alignment right, and I'm pretty sure it will work fine. So yeah, it came. Now let's start putting the buttons. So we need around 10 buttons for 1 to 10, and so let's put a UI button in the fig handle. It's always better to go press tab key, which makes sure that that particular variable is or object is defined, which you are trying to assign. Okay, and this I will name as button 1. Yes, perfect. So let's see how this button appears in our UI here. So I think lots of properties needs to be set for this button as well. So first let's go and check the properties of this again in the command window. Get UI button. It displays all the properties. In the meantime, first I close all the windows which opened previously and I didn't close it. So I close this, I close this. Yeah, looks cool. Now let me see what are the properties I have to set. So first property I have to set is the value of this. So value is or the text in a way. So text by default comes button, but probably I need something called as Control-C and dot text equal to 1, and also I need to set the position. So I will do position and this brackets. Again the default is 100 which is from the distance from left side, bottom side, width and height. So I think the distance from the left hand side I need I would like to align it with this text box, so I will keep 20, and then from the bottom I will keep 300, around distance of 50 I will keep it from top, and the width is 100 which is a bit too much. I will reduce it to 80, and the height is 22 is fine for me for the time being. So this is the position I set it. And also one more thing which we will have to set is the callback function. So what happens when we press this button? So there must be something callback or some press. Okay, so button push function. So we'll use this property to tell MATLAB what to do when we press this button. So button 1 dot control, and how we can do it is we can assign it something called at the rate of, and no, not on this one, suppose. So whenever there is something happening in this event, then call probably a callback function called button 1 callback, and I think we'll have to pass this texture here to this. Yeah, so let's see. Nope, let's run this and see what are the things which has happened. So there is some error below. We'll try to sort it out. And because of that error, something is going wrong. No public property exists for class MATLAB UI. Okay, so it says there is no public property called position, and the reason for that is I have a spelling mistake. There is no I after S, so I correct it, and again I run it, and see this time it was fine. It came here the way I wanted. Perfect. Now let's first complete the button one. Let's first put the or define the callback function as well. So we have to define the callback function for this one. So we do function, and we take text area as parameter. Okay, and we do end. So what we need to do in this particular callback function, we need to set the text area value as 1 over here. So let's set Ctrl V value equal to, and we can use the same way the way we did above, but since this time we will concatenate the value 1, or we will append the value 1 to the complete string, so we will have to do it in a concatenation format in MATLAB. Sorry, not this one. And then I go inside again, and so first I am fetching the value which is already there, and text area is in the form of the cell array. I took the first one and append a value of 1 here, so like this, and yeah, I think it should work. Let's see what happens. So I run again, I press 1, see 1 is getting appended. Perfect. So our first button is completed. Now let's try to do the same thing for our all other buttons. So we'll take off the callback functions later on. First let's design the buttons. So I copy paste this button part again and again. This is for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, which will be 0. And let's change the values. So this was 1, this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Perfect. Now let's also go ahead and change the value to 2, 2, 2, 2, and also don't forget to change the event, because we want to attach the correct button to the correct event, and of course we will have a new callbacks as well. This will be for 3, 3. I know it's a little tedious, but you can do a Control F and Control R on those things, but I prefer to type myself because I get a better control here. And I do it for 3, then I do it for 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, then I do it for 5. So this is a little tedious part. If you want, you can skip and proceed further on the video, because for another few seconds I'll be doing this only. 5, 5, Now this is 6, 6, 6. Let me do it for 7. I think I missed the first one. And then seven. This is 8, 8, again 8, again 8, 8, 8, and this is 9. We're almost done now. So 9, I think. Be careful, it's case sensitive, so variables are case sensitive here, so be careful that it doesn't go wrong. And here you type 0, 0, 0, 0. So after this, what we will do is we'll set the position of each and every button here as required. So now I'm done. Now let's set the position. So if you see, the first button is 20 from the left and 300 on the top. I want 2 to be, the height is okay, but from the left hand side I think I will like a displacement of 100. For 3, a displacement of 220. You can play with these numbers and see how it happens in the UI. And for 4 we will go to the next line. So I am planning to have something like over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 0 at the bottom. So for this one I go at level, say for example 250, and again I go one level here and 250, and 6 will be 2 level there and 250. Now 7 will be probably 200, 120 and 200 and 220 and 200, and 0 will be probably 120 and 150. So now if we play and see how our button appears, perfect. This is how I wanted. So I wanted 0 to be in center and all those things, like a telephone keypad which used to be in the older phones. Now let's put the callback function of all these buttons. So we have already defined the callback function. We have to just make sure it does what one was doing. So I'll just again use the same function again. Control C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, it's a bit repetitive task, so I will try to finish it up quickly. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is 0. Perfect. Now we have to rename this function, so which I will prefer to copy paste, because if something goes wrong, if the spelling mistake is there, even the caps lock is on or something, it will mismatch, and then it will be tough to debug such kind of silly mistakes. So I prefer to copy paste one by one. And for 8 again I go here, Control C, I do Control V, and then I go here for 7 and come back for 7, and then I go here for 6 and come here for 6, and then go here for where is 5 is here. Okay, actually there should be some better way to do this, but unfortunately we don't have more functionality in the editor which MathWorks provide, and this is the way we can do. We have to manually copy paste. It's not that smart enough, but it's okay. And it's almost done now. We have to just copy paste for 2 as well, and then we are done, I think. So our number pads are created. If I run again and if I type something, perfect. If I type 7 comes 4 1 3 6 9 0. Wow. Now let's design other buttons, like in a calculator we have a clear button, plus, minus, equal to, something like that. I will not put multiplication, division. I will focus only on basic functionality. So let's just define few more buttons and then we are good to go. I think the idea is to get the concept of app designer over here and for yeah. So in this I think this should be clear button and the callback should be clear callback. This should be plus. First let me complete these things, minus and equal to. Perfect. Now let me first complete clear button. So this time what I do is Control C and I just quickly do a Control V rather than typing again and again. Control V. This was faster. And over here this time instead of 0 I will use PLUS plus. Again I do Control C, Control V, Control V. Actually MATLAB will give you some hints, you can use those shortcuts, but since we have lots of other things in this program, I try to avoid those shortcuts because it may inadvertently change something which I am not expecting. So I do Control V, V, Control V, Control V. Perfect. And same thing I do with equal to also. C, Control V, V, Control V, Control. Perfect. So we have all the 4 buttons created. The only thing we have to now set is the position. So I want to keep it at the level, first button as first level, second level, third level, fourth level. So the height should be of this clear button, as far as I remember, it was 300. This for the second it will be 250, 200, 150. Okay, and the distance from the left hand side should be, I think, probably 320, because 220 was for the last column. For this the distance will be same, but this height will go to 250, and for this the distance will be 320 and the height will reduce to 200. For this distance is same, but the height is, I think, okay. So now let's play and see how this button appears. Perfect. This is how I wanted to appear. Or probably we can give more distance here so that it looks as a separate set of buttons. So I'll just quickly increase some space here to say, for example, 400. Yeah, that should be fine. So you can play with these numbers as and when you want, and so you can get what you're actually looking for. Perfect. Now let's try to define the callbacks of these functions. So callback, again I will copy the one of these because most of the syntax will remain same, only the values will change. So this may be for clear, this may be for plus and minus, and this is for equal to. Okay, so again before doing anything I'll first go and bring this control C. It's a bit of scrolling up and down, but don't get confused. And control V, this is for clear, and the text here should be clear. In fact, it should not be clear, sorry. There should not be any text. It should be cleared, is what the intention is. So we just type an empty, and when then they will, this is for plus, and this is for minus. So I bring the callback of plus from top, control C, and this is for plus, control V, and I go and bring for minus. I'm intentionally doing a copy paste here and not doing typing myself, because these things are prone to some manual typing error and I don't want to end up into some kind of mess. And if I go top and bring this equal to functionality, equal callback, control C, and I come back down here, control V. Perfect. No, but in this equal callback we may need to evaluate this expression to show the result. It's not sufficient just to show equal to sign at the end, but we also need to show the result. So to show the result, we need to evaluate this, which we can use eval command from MATLAB and evaluate what we get from what is already existing in the text area. And yes, but please note that this will return in the numerical format, so we may have to change it to the string format using this num to string command, num to string. Yes, if you don't give it, it will throw an error which you can verify, and now it looks good. So if we press our button and if you try to test something, and we see here, and this is fine, it's perfectly good. Yeah, so voila, I think it works. So we can try with some other features. We clear this screen and we try 10 plus say 12. It was fine. Wow. And but one thing I would like to show here, once you press equal to and if you press again equal to, it will throw an error here in your MATLAB con window. So how to avoid that? So what we can do is we can use a try catch statement to make our program a bit more robust, and bring all this command which gives this kind of error into a try catch loop. And probably if this is the case, we just display something like error probably, and so we don't need any of these things is what I think. We just need to display error, and that should be fine. So if I press this button again and go here, and 12 plus 96 minus 58 If you press equal to, it returns something. Wow, that's a good number, 50. So it returns 96 plus 12 is around 108 and minus 50 is 50. But if you press equal to again, it throws an error because it goes into this try catch and it throws that error. Perfect. So this is one of the simplest program which you can quickly design using your app designer from completely in command line. And I hope it is helpful for you, and it was a quite informative video. Thanks for watching, and please do watch my other videos in case you need help with MATLAB basics. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.